Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Football Chuggu Podcast. My name is Thomas Durning, and today I'm joined by my co-host, Pearse McLaughlin. Hello, Pearse.
Hello, how you doing?
Doing well. So we've been away for a couple of weeks, but we're now back today, and we're going to change. It's going to be slightly different today. So we're going to discuss the Euro 2024 tournament that kicked off last Friday. So obviously, there's matches that have already been played and results. So we're going to discuss that today. We might discuss a lot some matches in depth more than other matches, but we'll go through all of that. We'll make a prediction as to who we think will go through each group stage, and then also after we talk about that, Pearse will give a rundown of all the latest stage in football news. So we'll start off with the first match of the tournament. The one that me and Pearse had been really excited for a good year or so, and it spectacularly ended in a really bad way because Scotland, who kicked off the tournament against Germany, so Germany defeated Scotland 5-1. So we need to start off there because it's hard to start off there because obviously of what happened, but we'll start off there, Pearse. So what was your thoughts on the match?
Well, so for me it was Saturday morning at 4 a.m. and I had like 3 hours sleep, set my alarms for the game, and then within half an hour we're 3-0 down, and then Ryan Porteous gets a straight red, and I think I got it to a half time, switched off, rolled over, went back to sleep. I was like, no more, because I just felt as if the way that Germany were playing, that it was going to be a cricket score and it was going to be a really embarrassing and long night for Scotland.
Yeah,
And before the match, I would never predicted that because I thought if we take a narrow defeat or a draw, I would have bitten your hand off for it because I don't get that this narrative that's been given about Germany, they're a poor side or they're in bad form. They're actually not. They're actually a very good side. Yeah, they're going through a little bit of transition, but they've still got a lot of quality in their side, and that was shown on the opening day of the Euros. And I thought a lot of the players were outstanding, and even the bench
yeah,
players that came on, like you had Leroy Sané coming on, Thomas Muller, just to name a few. Like the bench is frightening, and the starting lineup
yeah,
was
really good.
really really strong. And I feel as if like Germany, I know they're the host, but I think they're dark horses to go later into the tournament and potentially even challenge for the actual title itself. But no, really poor night from Scotland. They only had one shot in the game, and it was off target. And the goal that we scored was a free Cone goal. At that point, Germany took the foot off the gas anyway, so nothing but a consolation goal. But Scotland really need to improve for the next two games because that was a dismal showing, and Germany flexed the muscles on opening day.
Absolutely. Totally agree with everything you said there. So just briefly starting with Germany, I thought they were amazing on the night, especially Musiala and Florian Wirtz. I thought they two were really, really good. Scotland just could not handle them because they were sort of playing in between the defence and midfield, and they were playing in kind of pockets. And the Scotland midfield, especially like McGregor, McTominay, they didn't know where to drop off or push forward. They were always looking behind them because like Musiala and Wirtz were right behind them, and they were just so good on the night. They were really difficult positions they were picking up, and they both scored on the night as well. So they two players really stood out to me. Um, the likes of Tony Cruz was it was just standard Tony Cruz. The fact that he's retiring is, I mean, he could play. When I look at him, he can play for an good few years. He's still as good as he was 5 years ago. He was really good in the night. It was a really good German performance because going into this tournament, there's been, especially the German fans, they've been pretty nervous because they just haven't seen, um, you know, where the goals are coming from Germany. That some performances they've had have not been great, but they definitely showed, with a lot of help from Scotland, they definitely showed on Friday that they are definitely going to be one of the favourites for the tournament, in my opinion. And what a way to kick it off in front of our home fans. Opening game of the tournament to win 5-1. They were brilliant on the night. And then you go on to Scotland. I don't even know where to start. It was just such a bad night. It was, see, going into this game, Scotland hadn't been in the best form, so I was slightly worried going into this game because I watch every Scotland match, and going into this match, I'd watched them, and I was thinking that we weren't on a good run of form. Ever since we've qualified for this tournament, the players to me have sort of kind of relaxed, and I'm not really seeing the same Scotland as I did like this time last year. But I hoped going into the tournament that this kind of motivation would kind of build up more and they would put in a performance, but it was nothing like that. It was just the, the thing that I keep thinking every time I think about this performance is Scotland were just scared. I thought they were scared. They were too frightened to take a hold of the ball and pass it around. They just every time they got the ball, they lost it. There was no real. I had no idea what they were trying to do when they had the ball. They just kind of seemed to, you know, just like kick it up the park, and the ball just kept going back to Germany. There were some really bad performances in there. Ryan Porteous as well. It was a terrible challenge. At first, I thought it wasn't even a penalty, and then I saw it again in the replay, and it was just a really bad challenge. Not really, and he has got a history of that. When he was at Hibs, for example, for these really bad challenges. So that was a very much deserved red card. But I was really disappointed. I was really disappointed more in Steve Clarke as well because I just felt there was I don't know what the tactics were as well. It was just really disappointing. It was such a bad night, and it's like it was the worst possible start to a campaign. And I felt the whole country was really buzzing. Obviously, you're not in Scotland at the moment. I am, and I felt that even the day before there was a real buzz about it. But ever since this game has happened, it's just sort of went flat. And yeah, it was just a really bad night. The worst possible start. So yeah, so that's all we can say. And then in the other game in that group, so Group A, that was played the next day. That finished Hungary 1, Switzerland 3. So a good start for Switzerland. So Pearse, moving on from this group, just before we move on, I want to give you what's your prediction? Who do you think is going to go through that group?
Before a ball was kicked, I would have said Scotland would have went through in second. But after that first result, it is pretty damaging. I think Scotland will do well to finish third, and potentially go through as one of the best placed third place sides because 6 of the 8 teams that finished third go into the next stage. So I think if we can get 4 points, a point against Switzerland and maybe a victory against Hungary or vice versa, we'll stand us in good stead because I think we need 4 points minimum if we've got any chance to progress in this group because Hungary, Switzerland, pretty much even sides and they're both tough opponents. And I think we'll do well if we can get any positive result of both those sides. Yeah, but that's my prediction in terms. I think we'll finish third.
Yeah. I'm the same. Before the tournament, I really thought Scotland had a good chance. After that match, it's hard to make a case for Scotland to get through this group now because I'm worried about how damaging that match is probably going to be for them in terms of, going into the next match. Are they going to be nervous the fact that, we really don't want to repeat it last time? And is that going to affect their performance? I don't know. I'm going to say, I mean, I want Scotland to go through so much. Like, I really do. It'd be amazing to see, but I just can't see it. I just think Switzerland and Germany will go through. And I just think Scotland will finish third. I actually do think they will finish third, to be fair. But I just don't think they'll have enough to get through to the next group. So I think Germany and Switzerland will get through that group. But at the time of recording this, it's still all to play for. So you never know. We might be sitting here in a couple of weeks in Scotland in the semi final. You never know. But yeah, so I'm going to say Germany at the moment, Germany and Switzerland to go through. So we'll move on to Group B, which is a really tough group. There was 2 matches, obviously. So Spain and Croatia, that finished 3-0 to Spain. And Italy versus Albania, that finished 2-1 to Italy. So we'll just quickly go through the 2 games. So Spain, we'll start off with Spain, Croatia, 3-0. What's your thoughts, Pearse?
Well, all right, I seen a statistic after the game that that was the first time, and I think it was 136 matches or something like that. It was like some ridiculous stat that Spain had been outpossessed in a match because Spain are known for a tiki style.
Yeah,
But they finished the match with 46% possession. They won 3-0. Although that looks like a comfortable scoreline, if you actually watch the match, um, Croatia had so many chances in that second half and could easily have got a point out of the game. I thought Spain were very lucky not to receive a red card. I don't know if you've seen the Rodri challenge for the penalty.
yeah, I've seen that. Yeah,
He literally dropped goal and he's kicked it back
yeah,
and heels, denying a clear goal scoring opportunity. And he get a yellow card. But I don't know if it's maybe because he's a Man City player that he get away with it, or the stature he has as a player in the game that he's maybe get away with it. But some other people might have got a straight red if they weren't as well known or weren't as well liked. But I thought Croatia caused Spain a lot of problems and they'd hit the bar a few times, cleared off the lines. Spain really had to defend and dig in to keep that clean sheet. Thought Spain the first half were brilliant, but in the second half they showed this a weakness to the game, but also a resilientness to the play. But no, I thought Croatia were brilliant. I thought Spain were good. But obviously Spain have shown that they're certainly a contender to go far in this tournament. And then obviously the other game, Italy Albania, thought the best possible start for Albania, scoring within was it 13 seconds, probably the quickest
it
ever
was. Yeah,
Euros goal. And what a goal it was, by the way. Ball given away for an Italy throw in, and then smashed into their post. But Italy get the two goals back, and then it was kind of more ah. An Italy side we're used to seeing in recent times, not really convincing, but they got the job done.
yep.
Albania under Slovenia, they've actually been pretty decent. And they caused Italy quite a few problems. If they just had an actual goal scorer, I think they could have easily got something out of the game. But no, I think Italy and Spain are showing that they'll potentially go through as the top two in the group. But both matches were definitely exciting to watch.
Yep, they were. This is a really tight group before we even start. Just I feel sorry for Albania a little bit because these three teams, Spain, Italy, Croatia, they're so experienced in these tournaments. So really tight group. Obviously, Spain 3, Croatia 0. I agree with everything you said there. Spain brilliant in the first half, second half. They showed a lot of frailties. I can't believe Robert didn't get sent off. By the way, I don't understand that because I mean the Croatia player was literally just about to tap the ball in the net, and I think he clipped him, and I'm really confused as to why that wasn't a sending off. I don't understand that at all. Croatia, they did score. They missed the penalty. They scored from the rebound, but there was what's the word again?
South
In encroaching,
or encroaching. Aye, that's it.
encroachment. Yeah,
Yeah,
encroachment. So the meant the goal got disallowed. So it just wasn't their day at all. But what a start for Spain. Winning 3-0. Morata scored again. I think he's got the most goals in the Euros tournament for Spain.
yeah,
He just seems to be every time he puts a Spain shirt on, he's just showing his class. But brilliant result for Spain. What a start for them against a Croatia side who are we all know how good Croatia are. I mean they always seem to be getting to the latter stages of tournaments nowadays. So yeah, really good start for Spain. And then Italy, Albania, you just discussed there. Albania's really good start in match, 13 seconds, the quickest goal I think it was ever in a Euros tournament. So that just shows how good a start it was. It was obviously a mistake from Italy. I think it was DeMarco who threw the ball back and it landed to an Albanian player. So what a start it was for Albania. But Italy did quickly get back into the game. It was a really good goal as well. The second goal, it was Barella. It was a really good volley, and it went into the bottom left hand corner. So, yeah, Italy weren't, you know, they weren't convincing. To be fair, I actually did thought they played well. I thought after the goal, I thought the goal they conceded, I actually thought it did play well. I like the look of the centre back, the Italy centre back. I think his name's Calafiori. I think he
yep,
plays for Bologna. He looked really good on the night. I think he's one to look out for this tournament. Um, and yeah, I thought Italy good start. It is hard to call after only one match in, but yeah, really good start for Italy and Spain. I think you just touched on the fact that you think Spain and Italy will go through that group. Yeah,
yeah. I think Croatia
yeah,
will go third, and Albania will go.
yeah. I think
I think
Croatia.
Albania. will be play some good football and they'll ride the other
Yeah,
teams all the way. They'll not make it easy. But yeah, no, I think they're well coached. They're well drilled side, Albania. They'll cause a lot of problems, but I think they're just in a group that are three sides that are used to being in the latter stages of competitions.
yeah, yeah. No, I agree. I think Spain and Italy will get through this top two teams. I think Croatia will finish third, but I think they'll finish third but still progress. Because at third place teams can still progress to the last stage of the tournament if they perform well in the group stage. So
Too much quality to not go through.
yeah, I think they'll have enough to get through the tournament. I never count out Croatia. I always, they're really good. That's a tough group they're in. But I think Spain and Italy will go through that group. Croatia and then Albania. I think Albania will give it a good go. I just obviously we know the quality they don't have the same quality as the three other teams, but I think they'll give it a good go. And yeah, it's good to see them in the tournament, and Slovenia's done a really good job with them. So we'll move on to Group C. The results in that group were Slovenia 1, Denmark 1, and Serbia 0, England 1. So once again, we'll just quickly run through them. So Slovenia, Denmark 1-1. What's your thoughts, Pearse?
Quite a surprise result. You expect Denmark to win that match pretty comfortably, but Slovenia have obviously got a few decent players. Brilliant to see Ilicic back in the squad.
Yeah.
And obviously they've got a world class goalkeeper in Jan Oblak, who year on year in just very consistent and probably a difference maker for them in terms of he'll give them a chance to progress. And they've got a massive result against Denmark, who are probably favourites to go through in second because they got to the quarterfinals or the semi-finals in Euro 2020. So and they've all still got a lot of experience in that Denmark side. But the brilliant tale is to see Christian Eriksen score in
Yeah,
Euro 2024, considering he nearly died in Euro 2020, which was a sight that no one ever wanted to see. That was a scary sight back then. So the fact that he's came back, continued playing, and then made another Euro squad and scored the first goal of the game was a brilliant sight to see. But in terms of result, I think both sides would take their hand off in terms of not losing the first game, but I think Slovenia would have been the more proud, chuffed of the two teams. And in terms of England, Serbia, I think England just got the win that they needed. Didn't play convincingly at times. I think Jude Bellingham was obviously the difference maker in the end. But a lot of the backlash from the game is probably Phil Foden. In terms of being played out of position and not playing to the high standards. Harry Kane not really doing much in the game, being a bit in the periphery. But I think it was just England's defence was a bit solid, which was probably their weakness, getting into people, fans' weaknesses in terms of they thought that was a weakness because they know Harry Maguire, Luke Shaw is not fully fit, so playing Trippier, and then obviously Alexander Arnold in midfield. So no, I thought Serbia causing some problems, but it didn't really test Jordan Pickford too much in the end. But so I think England will be chuffed that they got the win, but not really convincing. They'll need an improvement in terms of their attacking third, and obviously just if they want to progress into the next stages and potentially go far, because a lot of the fans and pundits think that England are probably one of the favourites to go and win the tournament. But after that display, wouldn't count their chickens yet. But no, they've got a lot of quality in the squad. But both kind of cagey affairs in terms of both matches. But I think England will probably top that group with the other three sides kind of fighting out amongst themselves.
yeah. I agree with what you say there. Obviously, Slovenia, Denmark. Denmark started the game really well. Really good goal from the Christian Eriksen. They seem to be in really good control of that game, Denmark. And then second half, the last kind of quarter, second half, Slovenia really got back into it. They scored the last stages of the game, and I actually thought in the end Slovenia should have won it. They had some really good chance. Denmark just totally lost their way towards the end of that match. I was really surprised. Obviously, we saw the likes of Benjamin Sesko, who's been highly sought of throughout last season. He had a pretty good game. They've also got Jan Oblak. And I was quite impressed with Slovenia. I haven't seen a lot of them, I'll be honest. I haven't watched a lot of Slovenia, but they looked really good on the day. Whereas Denmark, half and half. They were good some parts, and then towards the end of the match, I thought they were really poor. So yeah, I thought that 1-1 was a fair result. And then Serbia and England. Um, Once again, I thought England started the match really, really well. They looked really good. They scored a really good goal. Jude Bellingham header, really good goal. And then second half was a real struggle for them, for England. There was no real flow to the game at all. Serbia were just lacking that quality. I felt going forward, even though they had Mitrovic and Vlahovic up front, I just felt they were lacking that sort of cutting edge. Because I felt there was a chance there for them to get back into that game, but they just didn't take it. But I felt for me the big talking point for England was Jude Bellingham. I thought he was brilliant. He was the man of the match. I thought he was really good on the night. Really drove England forward. The fact, I mean, we've talked about Jude Bellingham so much, but I mean, you kind of run out of words for him because I can't believe the age he is and how much of a leader he is in that team as well. And yeah, you were talking there about Phil Foden. I don't know what it is with Phil Foden when it comes to playing for England. He just doesn't look the same player as he is for Man City. There's also reasons to that, but we'll talk about that another day. But yeah, I think for England they'll just take the win. They didn't play well at all. In terms of if you think they're going to win the tournament, for me, I don't think they've got enough at the moment. I think defensively as well, I don't think they look very strong. And I'm not really liking the idea of Alexander Arnold in the midfield with Declan Rice. I think it looks a bit too fragile. So, yeah, in terms of who I think will get through that group, I'm going to say England. They'll get through it. I'm actually going to go for Slovenia as the second team to go through. Um, I just felt when I watched them in our day against Denmark, I felt they looked pretty solid. And I think and they've got England to play, but I think with the fact they've got a really good goalkeeper, and I think with Benjamin Sesko up front, I think they've got a really good chance. So yeah, that was Group C, and then Group D, um, the matches were Poland 1, Netherlands 2, and Austria 0, France 1. So once again, Pearse, just quickly going through the two matches.
Yeah, so it's the France Austria 1-0 win. Um, Again, I don't think it was really a great flow to the game for France. I thought Austria were very dogged, very physical, sometimes overly physical. As I don't know if you've seen uh, Antoine Griezmann get a cut to just above his eye.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah,
And Kylian Mbappe's now get his nose broken, which now rules him out of the game against Holland, which is a major blow. Because like Mbappe is obviously probably the best player for France, arguably probably one of the best players in the world at the moment. So that's going to be a massive blow to them and their chances of obviously topping the group and progressing to the next round. And in terms of the other match, Netherlands against Poland. Poland obviously had suffered a little injury in training before the match, and that was Robert Lewandowski. Um, and obviously he picked up an knock, so he didn't even play in the game, and his replacement scored early on in the game. I'm pretty sure it shocked everyone because I think everyone's expecting Holland to coast that game because of the quality they have defensively and defensively. And I don't know if you've even seen the bench of that Holland side. Like Mickey van de Ven was on the bench. You'd a number of other like, top quality players on the bench, and then obviously the man,
Weghorst.
Weghorst. It's much maligned Weghorst. He isn't pleased on the eye. He's not really prolific in the Premier League, but in Germany he was really prolific. In Holland, he was really prolific. And obviously the last World Cup, he was very good for as a Plan B option. He got the two goals against Argentina, riled up Messi, which I don't think many people have seen before, and then obviously comes on and grabs a winner again. So Holland are known for playing this kind of tiki-taka. That's where they invented it for Johan Cruyff and all that, playing nice football passing through the back. But at the end of the day, the man that wins it is a big 6'6" target man, and he's been relied upon in several tournaments now, and he seems to be a really good option for Plan B because you look at the front line, you had Memphis Depay, Xavi Simons, and Cody Gakpo. So it was very much smaller, tricky pace, good dribblers, but obviously you need an option for plan B. And if it's not working in terms of you're trying to play the nice football, sometimes you just need to whip the ball into the box. And that's what happened, and he's got the winner. But for me, I think with that injury to Kylian Mbappe, I think Poland will top the group, and I think France will finish second. And I think Poland will just edge it. I think because Robert Lewandowski will come back, and I think Austria will finish bottom.
Yeah, I agree with what you said there. Obviously, Austria, France. Once again, it wasn't a great performance from France. I think they did deserve just about enough to win the game. By the way, in goal, Kanté I thought was brilliant on the night. It was really, I mean, that was in goal Kanté of old.
Go
He was
back to
really,
yours.
really good. Yeah, yeah, definitely. He was really, really good. Really strong in that midfield. And then obviously Kylian Mbappe, who broke his nose. And it has been confirmed he's broke his nose, so he'll be wearing a mask throughout the full tournament. So that's going to be a bit strange to see. But I actually thought Arsenal played well. They played the energy they brought into that match was really good. They were really. I mean, it's Ralph Rangnick that manages them, so Ralph. We all know about Ralph Rangnick's teams are really high pressing teams that really run a lot, and it requires a lot of running in that team. Now, I actually thought Arsenal played really well. I just felt once again they lacked that cutting edge going forward, to kind of test France. But not a great performance from France. We've said that a lot about France. They always seem to, when it gets to the last stage of the tournament, that's when they really start turning it up. But yeah, they got the 3 points, and then Poland Netherlands. I actually thought Holland played really well on the day. For me, they should have scored more too. They missed a host of chances, especially Depay. I feel he just missed a lot of good chances for Holland. I felt they deserved to win the match. Holland, but Poland did okay. The fact they had no Lewandowski in that team as well, I actually thought they put in a decent show. Um, but I just felt Holland just about did enough to win the match. And yeah, I think it'll be France and Holland that get through that group. And I think Austria will be third, and I think that it'll be Poland last. So we'll move on to Group E. So there was 2 matches: Romania 3, Ukraine 0, and possibly the shock result of the tournament so far, which was Belgium 0, Slovakia 1. So once again, Pearse, your thoughts?
Um, probably got the shock one, isn't it?
Yeah,
Slovakia won. Belgium nil. I think this was turn of Romelu Lukaku, and the amount of chances that he missed that game was ridiculous. Came back to obviously the Champions League final for Inter where he blocked a header. Against Man City where they had the chance to win it. He had a host of chances in the last World Cup where he virtually cost Belgium he could put out because they missed about 3, 4, 5 golden opportunities. But it is like that though. He's a terrific player in his day. If he's got the right mindset and he's got the right composure during that certain game, he's unplayable. But sometimes he can have an absolute stinker, just things just don't go for him. And like you say, his record for Belgium is ridiculous. He's top goal scorer with 85 goals. The closest one is Eden Hazard on 34. So he is their main man. He's a target man. But he just had one of those games in front of goal where he just didn't go in. And it's great to see a side like Slovakia actually get a result. And it's weird to see someone like of their former captain Marek Hamsik as assistant manager. You're used to
yeah.
seeing him with that mohawk, the former Napoli captain, but obviously he's got a wee buzz cut now. But very much matured in his now young coaching career. But no, brilliant to see. And then obviously Romania beating Ukraine. I don't think I'd ever seen Ukraine losing that game 3-0. I thought Romania have got some decent players like Stanchu. Yanis Hadji, George Puskas as well, and a few others. But Ukraine, obviously, you've got players that play in the Premier League to probably a higher level in terms of Zinchenko. You'd obviously Yarmolenko that used to play in the Premier League. Lunin in goals that plays for Real Madrid. And Mudryk as well. So you probably expected that Ukraine would probably edge it 1-0 or something like that. But I thought Romania were outstanding and thoroughly deserved a victory and potentially could go through with that result in terms of points and goal difference because that could prove crucial later on. But what a start for Romania and they could be a surprise package for me because I would never expect that or Slovakia. So Belgium and Ukraine have got a lot of work to do if they want to go through that group because they're now sitting in 0 points after the opening match. But it's sometimes 4 points is enough, and if Romania and Slovakia can get a point or a couple of points in the next two games, then they're favourites to go through, and you can see a big side probably potentially going out of the group stages.
Yep. Two results I didn't expect. Obviously, starting briefly about the Belgium-Slovakia, I really didn't expect that at all. I thought Belgium would comfortably win, and they didn't. The goal Slovakia scored was a mistake from Belgium, and it's costly when it comes to these tournaments. I didn't really think Belgium's offered a lot from being a goal down. They did score a disallowed goal, which was really controversial for some people. There was a handball in the run up to the goal. But a really bad start for Belgium. That should be a match that they should be winning. And what a start for Slovakia. I really don't think even Slovakians expected to win that match. So what a really good start for Slovakia. And then obviously Romania Ukraine. I thought that'd be a tight match, and I really didn't expect Romania to win that match 3-0. They scored a really good first goal from Stanchu. It was a really good finish in the top corner. And the Ukraine goalkeeper, Real Madrid goalkeeper as well, Andrei Lunin, he had a really bad day. Was at fault for the first goal and the second goal. He should have saved the second goal. And he didn't obviously. And yeah, what a start for Romania, winning 3-0. And in terms of who I think will go through that group, I think Belgium will. I think that's a fairly group that Belgium can do well in. So I think Belgium will pick up. I think they will get maximum points in the next two games. And I'm actually going to see Romania go through as well. I don't know why. I just have this feel, not just because of the result. I've got a weird feeling about them. I think they could be dark horses in this tournament. So I'm going to say Romania as well. And I think Ukraine will finish third, and then I think it will be Slovakia. So yeah. So just one more. I just want to give you. I want your predictions briefly, Pearse, on the two matches that are to be played in the last kind of groups, first matches of the group stages, Group F. So it's Turkey and Georgia. Who do you think is going to win that, Pearse?
Turkey and Georgia.
Or what do you think the result will be?
Well, everyone predicted in the last Euros that Turkey were the dark horses, and they picked up 0 points and get pumped the 3 games. But I think that's a different opposition this time. I think they've got a lot of good young players coming through. I think Turkey will win that game. I think they'll win it 2-1. But obviously Georgia's main man, they're very heavily reliant on the Kvaratskhelia. And in terms of obviously Portugal, Czech Republic, I think that could easily be a big scoreline for Portugal. I can see Ronaldo getting on the score sheet, potentially even getting a couple. But no, I fear for Czech Republic. I don't think they'll cause much threat to Portugal. I think Portugal again, similar to France, England, Germany, Spain, they've got so much strength and depth, even on the bench. So I think that they've got a lot of game changers, and I think they will win that game pretty comfortably. So I think in that group, I think it'll be Portugal, Turkey, and then potentially, I think I'm actually going to go with Georgia as third, and I think Czech Republic will finish bottom.
Yeah. So the first game, Turkey Georgia, I'm going to go for a Turkey win. I just think Georgia don't have enough. The fact that they as you said, they rely heavily on Kvaratskhelia. And I just think Turkey will have too much. So I think Turkey will win that match 2-0. And then Portugal and Czech Republic, I actually expect Portugal to put on a really good show. I do fear for Czech Republic in that game, to be honest. I could be wrong, but I think Ronaldo will score, as you said. I've got a feeling about that. I'm going to say 3-0 to Portugal. And in terms of who I think will go through that group, I think it'll be Portugal first, Turkey second. I'm going to say Czech Republic third, and I'm going to say Georgia will come fourth. So yep, that's the run out. That's all. That's all. The rundown of the Euro 2024. And we'll be back talking about the Euro 2024 next week. But now we'll move on to all the latest Asian football news from Pearse.
Yeah, so Guangzhou FC are facing a potential transfer ban in the summer transfer window. The K-League Financial Committee has determined that Guangzhou FC submitted a budget that was had inflated revenue figures. If Guangzhou fails to meet the financial standards, they will be subjected to a ban on player signings during the summer transfer window. So Incheon United have opened a cafe in the downtown area of Sinporo, Junggu, and Incheon. So first of its kind from a club that have actually opened their own restaurant, cafe. So the 2024 K-League trading cards get released at the 7-Eleven convenience stores in South Korea on Wednesday, the 19th of June. The 2024 trading cards includes a coupon to win a K-League fantasy player, which is obviously a so rare item, which is obviously heavily played around the world. So exciting times there, and a really nice little addition to the trading cards. And a special shout out to American rapper and designer Travis Scott, who was rocking a retro Tokyo Verde shirt at a recent basketball game, which was obviously showing brilliant style. Yeah, so change of scenery today. We'll finish off with some K-League One action, and that was obviously last weekend. So Saturday, 15th of June, we had Boeing Steelers 1, Daejeon Hana Citizen 1, Guangzhou FC 2, Gimcheon Sanmu 0, Gangwon FC 3, Suwon FC 1, and then Sunday, the 16th of June, we had Jeonbuk Hyundai Motors 2, Incheon United 2, Ulsan HDFC 2, FC Seoul 2, Daegu FC 1, Jeju United 0. And that's leaving the table looking like this. So top of the table with Ulsan HDFC sitting top of the table, 17 matches played, 32 points. And probably the surprise package was relegation threatened Gangwon FC last season. They've surpassed a total of the points total of last season. They're currently sitting in second, and they've got a youngster called Yan Kyung Mook, who's been a revelation and potentially he just signed his first professional contract at the weekend. And he's going to go places. Young left winger, just turned 18 years old, and he's one exciting player for the future that I can see going to Europe next season. And then third position we have Pohang Steelers on 30 points, joined with Gimcheon Sanmu, who's also on fourth position with 30 points, separated by only the 3 goals. So it's very tight at the top of the table. 4 sides settled with 2 points. So very exciting at the top of the table. So in terms of the bottom half, at the bottom of the table, we have 2 sides joint bottom. It's Daejeon Hana Citizen and Jeonbuk Hyundai Motors, who have had just a poor season to date. Both on 15 points. And then just above them are Daegu FC on 17 points and FC Seoul, surprisingly in 9th position with 18 points, considering the big hitters they have in terms of Jesse Lingard, who has been injured, and also Stanislav Ilychenko and Ki-Sun Young, to name a few. So they've been a really poor side this season, and hopefully their form can pick up, because they've got a lot of big players that should be performing at a higher level. So now move on to the J League One action. That returned last weekend as well. On Saturday the 15th of June, we had Jokam F. Maros losing at home to FC Machida Zelvia by 3 goals to 1. Sanfrecce Oshima beating Tokyo Verde by 4 goals to 1. Ceres Osaka 2, Red Diamonds 1. Kyoto Sanga FC 2, Hoikuro Consero Sapporo 0. And then Sunday the 16th of June, to round off the fixtures, we had Vissel Kobe 1, Kawasaki Frontale 0, which also seen during the halftime show and pre-match was Kyogo Furuhashi was in Kobe, greeting his former fans and taking in a few matches whilst in the post-season. So Wisła Fukuoka 2, Sagan Tucson 0, FC Tokyo 1, Jubilo Awata 1, Gambo Osaka 2, Kashiwa 1, Kashi Mantlers 1, Alberts Nagata 1, Nagoya Grampus 1, Shonan Bermere 1. And then also we've got a fixture which is going to be played tomorrow night, Wednesday the 19th of June. And that is a catch-up fixture for Yokohama F Mariners, who host Sanfrecce Hiroshima at 7 p.m. in Yokohama National Stadium. So hopefully they can get a better result than they had at the weekend, because obviously they lost at home to SC Zelvia, who at the time of recording are sitting at the top of the table, had an unbelievable season to date, and they just continue to go from strength to strength. So they've got 38 points after 18 matches played with a plus 15 goal difference. So scoring goals are fun, and looking like really title contenders this season, considering it's their first ever campaign in the J1. And sitting right behind them, we have Kashimatlers on 36 points. And then third and fourth position, we have Gambo Osaka on 34 points, with a point behind them and Vissel Kobe, last season's champions. So at the bottom of the table, we have Hoikuro Consul Sapporo sitting in 20th position, 11 points, minus 22 goal difference. So it's safe to say they're in danger of being cut adrift poor season today. And then above them, we have two sides joint with 14 points, and that's Kyoto Sang FC and Sagan Tuso, both on 14 points, separated by 7 goals. And then just above them in 17th position, we have Shonan Belmere, who are just outside of the relegation places. And that is all your latest Asian football news.
Thank you, Pearse, and thank everyone for listening to this episode of the Football Chuggu Podcast. This podcast will be available to listen to on the Football Chuggu YouTube channel and also the Football Chuggu website. Thanks for listening, and see you soon.
Bye-bye. We're back.